All right, guys. So this is a second part of the warm-up video for Sun Salutations A, B, and then the Chaturanga sequence. And this one is poses and exercises for strengthening the entire core of the body, not just abdominals, but learning to engage the quadriceps at the same time, flexing the feet, and being able to basically engage the whole abdominal area and breathe within it at the same time. You know, maintaining the strength in the arms and the clearance from the shoulders and the ears. So I'm going to perform some of these, and these are actually inspired by a video on YouTube from Purple Valley Ashtanga or something along those lines by Deepika, and she and this other guy are practicing these certain poses. But it's kind of starting off like we did in the first part, where the hands are shoulder width apart and shoulder heads are above the wrists, firmly planting the hands into the mat. Fingers are spread apart, and the weight is distributed through the hand and fingers equally. And then your knees are above your hips, and the feet are in line with the knees. And so we kind of push away from the mat, engage the lats. So creating the space, we don't want to be like hunkered up like this, okay? Over here, pushing away. Come down, push up with the oh gosh, having a brain fart here. The shoulder blades are pushing up, you see them upper back, and they come down, push up. Okay, and then there's the lifting up of the tailbone. So we want to keep strong. Now, the biceps are facing forward, so rotating the inner upper arm outward. And the elbow creases are facing forward. And we have a strong foundation here. And I'm engaging the lats, and the shoulder blades are expanded up there. And then we're going to tuck the tailbone. Release the belly to the mat. Engage the abdominal muscles and tuck the tailbone. So there's some of that. You can shake it out. Coming back to that foundation, arms are in place, pushing away from the mat, engaging the quadriceps. Here we're going to tuck, push away, and then we're going to extend the right foot strong. So engage that quad, engage your glute, then pull up the left. Push back a little bit helps. Engage the quads. Pushing away from the mat. Keep tucking the tailbone. Make sure that there's space between the shoulders and the ears. We don't want to be up here. And breathe. And then come to a rest. Relax your arms and come into child's pose. So that's a plank, but emphasizing on pushing away from the mat with your arms and your hands, and being able to push up the upper body with the shoulder blades, and an emphasis on maintaining a tuck of the tailbone in order to engage all of these muscles in here. But it helps a lot to focus on engaging these muscles here and the quadriceps in the legs. So there's a exercise that, like I said, is inspired from the Purple Valley Ashtanga channel, where Deepika, so they sit and this would be like staff pose, Dandasana, and they work on engaging the legs individually or at the same time, but they just use this, not the upper body. So you lift up the right leg, and now the foot can be flexed. You want a strong quadricep, or you can point your toe, and do the left. You're just sitting here, And it might help if you know what Uddiyana Bandha is. You exhale all the air. And then there's an internal lift. Strong quads and lift. Just like that. But these quadriceps need to be engaged. And over time, this took me a while to, obviously, for my body to adapt to the awareness that these will need to be engaged throughout. And this helps a lot with your Surya A and B and Chaturanga and any jump throughs, and just working on building your strength, your foundation, and this will serve to protect your body throughout the practices that you do. And the more that you work on the core, which is the entire from head to toe, strengthening these at these times of going through these sequences is going to help prevent injuries and minimize any of those strains or stresses, because you're strong throughout the entire thing. And it's not just strong in the first few rounds, but it's strong like Ashtanga practice. You do like you put in like 5 Sun A's and like 5 Sun B's, maybe 10 sometimes. They do quite a bit in the beginning, and every time you're going through a Chaturanga as well. And so there's this 1, 2, and then put your hands out onto the mat, or maybe you have a block to use. Point your toes, engage your quads, so these are strong. Don't mind my farmer's tan. And then we lift up both legs. Oh, my legs are shaking. And like I said, for me, when I weightlifted, there was a lot of emphasis on a strong upper body and during plank pose, a strong upper body, and not really thinking a whole lot of strengthening all the leg muscles at the same time, which helps tremendously. And there's a little bit of pushing up because of in the butt and the tailbone, because of how you transition in Surya A and Surya B. There's a lot of that pushing up away from the mat and engaging a lot of this to get from one point to the next. So that's why it's different than a normal plank. So once again, strong quads, lift up. Now there's the other one where lift off from the ground here. So this one is engaging all these muscles up here, and the shoulder heads, and the lats, and the chest muscle, and the neck, and here, and the flexibility in the hip crease. Okay, so a lot of hip exercises or hip stretches, like frog pose for one. But there's a lot of hip opening poses that I can create another video that will help with even just these poses here, just like this one and this one. But next, they go from here to lifting up both the body, the legs at the same time, and this I have to use blocks for. So I set my hands on blocks like I would the mat, engage the quads, and in some videos they're really pointed over, but I can only hold that for like a second, and the quality is kind of poor. But when I come up and I bring my legs up, I can really feel my quads engage then. It's like a really strong tension and sensation in the quads that it's kind of hard to feel when you're just sitting on the ground or in plank pose. But when you come up and you bring up your legs too off the ground, it really, they're super engaged. So let's try that again. Oh, it's almost like you're getting a Charlie horse in your leg or something, or it's about to cramp up. That's that feeling it's like. It's like a cramping sensation, but it doesn't cramp. It's just strengthening. And then some of the, I think, the more you practice, there's like a forward tilt here, and then the legs come up. But I'm all the way back here just so I can get my legs off the ground, probably because of the flexibility here in the hip crease. So, yeah, anyway. So those are really powerful warm-up exercises and poses to do for Surya A, B, Chaturanga, the transitioning for each pose, and those small sequences. And those are major staples in yoga asana sequences. Not always, but a lot of the flowy type classes will have that. Ashtanga has that, and Hatha uses it. Even in Bikram, I'm sure. What other one was I thinking of? Anyway, so that's a really powerful set of warm-ups. And then, like I said, again, coming back to the tabletop position, getting ready for your plank, and then strengthening everything. There's that. Then when we come down to the forearm plank, where you're firmly planting your forearms are shoulder width apart, okay? You could even bring a block in here and put your hands in between it like so. And then here again, we're going to focus on pushing away up here. Engaging the abdominal muscles by tucking the tailbone. And then we'll take one leg back and then the next. Engage your glutes. Engage your quadriceps. Remember to breathe. And if you want, you could even go to the side. And doing this will exercise the side oblique abdominal muscles, which mine could use some work. So there's a little warm-up part 2 for, like I said, Surya A, B, and Chaturanga. And these are really, really important to build the strength in your entire body so that when you're going through these transitions, you're not losing quality. And this will take time. I would practice these every other day, 3-4 times a week for a month. I think I'll do this. This is leading up to the video with the sunrise meditation practice. So this will probably be a month from now. But these are really important. These are really powerful. And I've gone through a lot of practices and a lot of yoga classes where, you know, I noticed that my core wasn't as strong as it could be. There's still a lot of improvement. There's a lot of quality being sacrificed to get through the entire class, because they can be up to an hour. Some can be up to an hour and a half. And, you know, in the beginning it starts off really strong because you're fresh, right? But to consistently maintain that strong core, these will help a lot, help tremendously. And there's a couple other ones, but I want to keep this minimum, max 15. So anyway, thanks for watching. I know the angle of my camera is getting kind of twisted, but hope this helps you, and I'll see you at the next video.